Chapter 7. Suspect numero uno. Take a good look at this, I say, handing Mr. Castro an instant photo of a fresh pile of evidence. Take your time, I say, watching his face carefully for any signs of guilt. He stands in his doorway with a weird look on his face. I borrowed, without asking of course, Haley's girl chat sleepover instant camera and snapped a few good pictures for the evidence. Her camera is pink and covered with flower stickers, but it sure spit out some good photographs. I figured photos would work better than trying to scoop poop into a plastic bag. A good detective must always preserve the evidence, and if he can avoid throwing up in the process, all the better.
It looks like dog poop,
Mr. Castro states simply, looking back into the living room with the same funny look on his face. Meanwhile, his mountain-sized dog is barking behind the fence like a crazy seal at feeding time. Aren't you the Sherlock boy? He asked, while squinting his eyes. I don't get the joke, but we're watching a real good show about flying squirrels right now. Are you selling these photos to raise money or something? Someone's dog left that on Mrs. Fefferland's lawn, I inform him, thinking about how fantastic that flying squirrel show must really been since half the world seems to be watching it. I get to the point quickly. Could that be Ranger's poop, Mr. Castro? Kid, Ranger sneezes things bigger than this, he laughs, handing back the photo. Ranger weighs over 230 pounds. Try looking for a beaver or a pigeon, he says, and closes the door with a loud thump. A beaver? I say to nobody. We don't have beavers around here. And a pigeon dropping poops this size would have to be as big as a microwave oven. My second official case is certainly off to a slow start. I sit on the curb and pull out my list of suspects. I've got way too many suspects if I plan to solve this mystery by dinner. I take out pink girl chat sleepover marker, which I also borrowed without asking, and cross out Ranger, Cujo, too big, and the ancient Vader, too old. That just leaves 4 suspects. Just as someone crashes a speeding truck through the Castro's fence. Chapter 8. Running on empty. I jump to my feet and look over my shoulder. With the combination of relief and utter panic, I realize that there's no truck crashing through the fence behind me. It's Ranger. His beach ball-sized head and his ham-sandwich-sized paws are hanging over the fence. And the rest of him is working like mad to get over the fence too. I never find out if he makes it, because I'm 4 houses away before I even start screaming. This may not be the bravest way for a detective to act, but when you're about to become a moist and meaty doggy treat, there are a few options. For a moment, I imagine all that would be left of me. My right shoe, my list of suspects, and a suspicious-looking pink girl chat sleepover pen. As I huff and I puff along, I think for a moment that I might be a better sprinter than detective. But then I calculated that this is unusual burst of speed is 87% pure fear, 12% hunger for a solution to this mystery, and 5% desire to eat several helpings of my mom's spaghetti for dinner. I finally run out of gas on the front lawn of the Morty's house. This is no accident. If I go any farther, I will surely start barfing up the 7 frozen waffles I ate for breakfast. Also, Mr. and Mrs. Morty just happen to be the owners of Peekaboo, one of the remaining suspects on my list. After what seems like 53 minutes, my breathing returns to normal, and I wobble up the steps to Morty's front door. Chapter 9. Barking up the wrong tree. Mr. and Mrs. Morty are a strange couple. They're friendly, neat, and always very polite. They're also often gone for weeks at a time. This gives the neighborhood gossip plenty to whisper and tisk about. Lance has a theory that the Mortys are aliens from the planet Uranus who visit Earth every few weeks to check out what's on TV. My theory, on the other hand, is that Lance just loves saying Uranus, and he'll say it any chance he gets. Everybody in our class at school thinks Lance is the funniest thing since sliced bread. His best jokes include saying Uranus all the time, making loud fart noises when it's real quiet, and playing the Star Spangled Banner with his armpits. And when he's really on a roll, he can burp the alphabet all the way to the letter R. Ha ha ha. I can be pretty funny too, but my best jokes usually aren't heard because of all of the armpit racket. Anyways, before I reach the door, Peekaboo starts barking like some pocket-sized killer. I stand there shaking my head. This dog must be kidding. It's no bigger than a 42-ounce can of soup, and looks like it will fall apart if you look at it funny. Match Peekaboo up against a salamander, and I'll bet on the lizard. Quiet, Peekaboo. Relax. Boy, or your eyes are gonna bounce across the floor like marbles. I screamed through the door. Maybe I shouldn't have used his name, because this seems to make Peekaboo go even more wild. Maybe Mr. and Mrs. Morty left town weeks ago without leaving any food for their soup-sized pet. Maybe the dog's eyes have already popped out, and that's causing the barkathon. Maybe Peekaboo is being attacked by a mouse that's bigger than he is. Whatever the reason, two things are clear. The Mortys are not home, and their home security system is dangerously close to losing its eyesight. Sorry, Peekaboo, I shout through the door. I'll be going now, as I back away from the door and marvel at the thunderous yelping. I wonder if a boy my age might go to jail for blinding a neighbor's pet. But my worries of a long prison sentence are interrupted by a deep voice coming from behind me.
Don't move a muscle, Sherlock, or this dog will attack for sure.